Welcome back. We are now going to be putting our focus on onboarding your VA here in Phase 2. This is video 2.3. In this lesson, we'll be covering commercial real estate broker checklist, strategic onboarding setup, time tracking, and then VA hiring documents. A quick overview of what those will look like. So Henry Ford said, "Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress, and working together is success." And our goal is that you're going to work well with your VA when they jump on board. In order to do this, we need to have you prepared. So we have put together a commercial real estate broker checklist that you'll be using after you hire your VA. So the first thing is you want to make sure that you have your tools set up. Now there's a few more tools here, but this is the main ones. And so what we did is if you choose to use Bitwarden, you choose to use Wise, Slack, Surfshark, we did put together their website and some training videos to kind of get you up to speed. On the Wise, we do recommend that you set up a business account. Also set up the ACH with your bank account. This way you'll be able to have the lowest fees possible. And then of course we got Slack, a training video, and then Surfshark as well for the VPN. Regarding documents, there are 2 documents that we need you to open up. We're going to give you access to these in a Word document. We need you to review them, get to know them, and then customize them. Inside these documents, we do have placeholders where you can actually put in your own criteria. So we got the first day orientation document. The second one is going to be a VA rules handbook. Now, once you have those updated, you'll be handing those 2 documents over to your VA. In addition to that, you'll be handing over an end-of-day report, which is just, this is spelled out inside the both the first day orientation and the VA rule handbook. So they'll be reading about this end-of-day report, and all this is an email that they'll be sending back to you, kind of giving you a quick progress report of how their day went. And then the fourth one is we are going to ask the VA to add all of their Philippine holidays into your calendar so you're just aware of them. Additional steps. Open up your Bitwarden account and you're going to be adding your VA to that program. You're going to create a new email for the VA. If you are using right now Office 365 or Microsoft 365, you can create a new user. If you decide you want to create a new email from Gmail, we suggest that you structure it like this. You do the first initial of their first name, their full last name, a period, and then commercial real estate CRE acronym, or maybe some sort of a team name acronym. So if you are hiring Raymond Amore, his email would be ramore.cre@gmail or ramore at whatever your team acronym is. Ours is LVA@gmail.com. So you're going to then go into Google Voice and get them set up a local phone number for your VA. And then you're going to open up your Slack, and there's a place where you can add a person to your program. So you're going to do these items right here. You're also going to open up your Asana and then add in your VA. Once you have your Asana set up, be sure to make sure you put your first initial 3 tasks that you have created inside Asana. Also, you're going to give your VA access to your accounts via Bitwarden. So you're going to use your Bitwarden, and you are going to be giving them access to your Outlook, Gmail, OneDrive, Google Drive, CRM, Crexi, all your social media platforms if you want. And if you're doing any kind of website stuff, even a WordPress access as well. Okay, so let's talk through strategic onboarding setup, starting your VA out on the right foot. Within the first 2 weeks, make it very clear to your VA your background and your personal goals. The background of the business, what you sell and or services that you offer, who your clients are, and then your ultimate goal. Lack of training or undefined roles will cause your VA to disappear. Okay, so mini tutorial method and SOPs. The mini tutorial method and SOPs are simple and effective ways to train your VA. Your VA will not get the learn by watching over the shoulder method. This is where you expect them just to kind of see how you do emails and maybe listen to you on a call. I mean, there's some aspects to that, but we want you to create these mini tutorial method videos. That's so much better. So make sure they have access to training videos. Those kind work the best. It does educate them about your company and the way you do things. And then do as many as you can to get them adjusted and to learn how to perform their roles. No, anything training related, you're going to put all of those into the VA training folder so everything's in one location for them. All right, I recommend that these videos be less than 5 minutes. And if you do need it to be longer, try and keep it under 20 minutes. And Zoom or ScreenPal, both of those work great for this. Your action step, starting today, schedule a 1-hour block each week to work on your training videos and making an SOP. And remember, you're only making a few SOPs because the VAs will then be taking over once they learn how to do it. Okay, reminder for the different types of videos you can use for your mini tutorial methods is going to be loom.com, screenpal.com, and zoom.us. And you can make these videos small, and then if you want, put them inside of your SOPs. Okay, another action step. Using the mini tutorial method and SOP templates, create the following trainings. The first one is going to be a basic email management. This is important. Honestly, email takes a ton of our time. So create 3 short, under 5-minute videos on how you organize and sort, what's important, what's junk, and how to mark an email as important that needs your attention. You may be able to get all this dialed in into 1 video or 2 videos. I did mine in 3. And if you're looking to figure out what that looks like, I did create a tutorial example, and there's a link right there, and we'll also have it below. And then you're going to assign tasks inside Asana. So how do you assign these tasks inside of Asana? You're going to use, once again, this mini tutorial method, make 1 or 2 short videos, show them exactly what the main project folders look like, the operations and weekly tasks is what we suggest, and then a quick overview of how to add, complete, and different explanations of how you kind of work around. So if you're looking for an example of how we use Asana as well, that is a video example right there that you'll be able to use that link. Okay. There are other things if you want them to help you with research projects. Research projects is great because this is an easy way to start getting them acclimated to commercial real estate. So you should know where your time is being spent on various research tasks that you did on your time audit. So just figure out which ones that you're doing and then delegate a small portion of it. And if you're asking the question, what type of research could a VA do? We listed quite a few here. Our favorites is Crexy Properties and Leads. We also like doing custom searches for our investors and our developers. And then also we like to put together, we had a client who said, hey, listen, can you help me fill up some space? And he was looking to have a law firm. So then we were able to go in and figure out all the names and phone numbers of law firms within a 3-mile radius. So that's the kind of thing you can do. Gives you some ideas. Data entry and database management. There are a multitude of data entry tasks in commercial real estate, as you know. Figure out the tasks you're already doing and other tasks that will benefit your team. So for the CRM, we have our VAs add and update contacts, create and manage leads, send out bios, request for testimonials, which is great. Organize your database, send out e-blasts. And then for listings, fill out forms, request a post up, a post down. All the things that they can do without a real estate license is what we're looking at here. And then lastly, this is optional, but we did this, is we used a free app called Zcal. It's just like Calendly. And we put in a block out in our calendar. This connects to our Outlook. And so if I say, hey, would you schedule lunch with Dan? My VA can send an email to Dan, it looks like it's coming from me, and say, hey, Dan, we'd love to get together next week. Here's my calendar. Pick a time that works. And so this is already set up inside Zcal for my lunch and coffee meetings. And then, of course, you're going to have your VA also make sure they schedule in your calendar all of the recap and weekly team meetings that you guys will be doing in Zoom. Okay, time tracking. Measuring effectiveness, not hours. This is important. We're going to be using time tracking to support your VA, not smother your VA. So there are some tools out there. They're all free. I mean, there is aspects where you could pay, but we currently use Clockify, but we know there's a few others here that they could try out. And so we're using time tracking to track projects and tasks, not for the number of hours worked. A good way to support your VA, it helps them with their training and also helps monitor the number of hours it takes for their various projects and tasks to get done. So our primary push is based on productivity. It's based on performance. It's based on output, not that they're clocking in for a full 8 hours. You want to do this and have them use these time tracking at least for the first 3 to 4 months. After a while, you'll get really good at knowing how long things are taking them, and then you no longer need to have them do this. Unless you bring in 3 or 4 brand new tasks that they've never done before, maybe you can bring this back in just to monitor if they need help or not. You want to pay on salary versus hourly, and this helps prevent micromanaging. If a project or tasks are taking longer than expected, it's either one of two things. They don't fully understand how to do it, which is typically what's going on, but they also may not have all the tools necessary to do what you're asking them to do. So I'll give you a couple of examples here. Example 1, it takes you 15 minutes to add 10 people into your CRM. You've created a mini tutorial method on how to do it. You assign your VA 10 people to add to the CRM. You expect it to take no more than 30 minutes, but it ends up taking them over an hour. Yeah, you know something's not right. Or example 2, it takes you about 60 minutes to create a commercial real estate article for your blog. You've created 3 tutorials on how to do it. You assign it to your VA. You expect it to take maybe 2 hours. Ends up taking them only 20 minutes. Yeah, you know something's not right. Now, this seldom happens, but it's a great measuring tool to provide ongoing support for your VA. Okay, let's walk through the VA hiring documents. So you hired your Filipino VA. They need to know what you expect from them starting day 1. And this is accomplished by providing the VA an orientation, getting started, along with a detailed handbook spelling out all the rules, your policies, and procedures that you require. So the 2 documents is the first day orientation and the VA rules handbook. Let's look at these real quick here. This is the first day orientation. We welcome them to the team. We give them first steps that they need to be downloading Bitwarden. We also give them access to the VA training folder, which is important. And then we tell them, hey, here's what's inside the VA training folder and make sure that you know. Now, everything in red is what we need you to come in, and you're going to need to provide that link to either your Google Drive or your OneDrive. You're going to need to jump in and make sure that you create your own welcome to the team video and your own how I give tasks. You can use the examples that I created as an example. And then also we are providing different types of training modules for your VA, and this is where you're going to stick those inside those folders. Also, what tools will you be using? We're using the 365, so that's in here. If you're using Gmail, you're going to need to update that. Also, we have our notes and policies. So we tell them, read all the rules inside our VA rules handbook that we'll get to next. Let them know daily tasks always take priority. All reference time will always be whatever state you're in. So you don't have to try and keep figuring out what time is it over there? What time is it over there? If anything's in time, they need to be the ones that are figuring out that time. You always encourage them, if they don't know what they're doing and they're not positive, to reach out to you ASAP. We do let them know, like we mentioned, that we're going to require a daily recap email. And this kind of reports out the questions and reports they've got to send over. Almost all training documents and videos will be found in that VA training folder, another link. Salaries private, do not share. If they're caught charging for time when they're working for someone else, that will not be tolerated. They'll be fired immediately. We give them the work schedule that you need to fill out exactly how you're doing that. We're going to ask them to jump on Slack and email. All tasks should be recorded in Asana. And then for tasks, there's different types of priorities. We use the first 2, priority 1 and priority 2. Everything that we throw into our Asana is default priority 2. But then every now and then I will jump in and create a priority 1. If we're doing long-term planning and this is something to be looking at in the next 3 or 4 months, well, then we'll just let them know at that point, you know, the due date is in 3 months. But we don't get too specific on that. And then, of course, we show them how they get paid. that we're going to be using wise. We're going to pay them on the 1st and the 15th. And then we expect that they send us an invoice 2 days prior. And then we also have a copy of that invoice that we'll be using. What tasks they're supposed to do. So this kind of gives them a little bit of understanding of what they need to be doing. Also, what we're going to be doing as their employer, what the benefits are. We're doing the 13th month. If you don't want to do the 13th month, you can delete this part, but we thought it was important. And so we include that in there. And then we also let them know that we have some incentives. So we have the opportunity for increases annually. We want to pay for their holidays. We like to give them like little thank yous and make it fun if they have a perfect attendance or they're doing really good service. So that right there, that is the orientation. And now we're going to jump into the VA Rules Handbook, which is kind of similar. So the VA Rulebook explains in detail what your expectations are. We recommend that you read it, know it. And here's a couple of highlights, because we're not going to really go into this one in much detail, but it's got the weekly work schedule, expectations on tasks given. We ask them to provide, once again, a daily recap. We also let them know that they need to log in and respond to us on a daily basis. We expect them not to take advantage of us. We'll let them take off days if they need, just let us know. We expect them to be honest. We expect them to work a full 40 hours per week. Also, for English composition, this is important. We tell them to utilize Grammarly. It is free. Go ahead and have them install that on their computer. It's great. And then, of course, all the time we talk about will always be in Arizona time. So here's what that VA Rules Handbook looks like. I'll let you take a quick look at that. Some similarities in there. A couple of other things that we added in. Okay. So tax documents. We have 3 different tax documents we're going to be using with the people from the Philippines. These will include the W-8BEN that you'll be handing over to your tax accountant, a supporting statement, and then an 1120S business file. This is what the W-8BEN looks like. And we will have them fill that out before they are starting their job with you. We then also are going to have them put together a supporting statement. This is what that template looks like. It's pretty simple, but we have them fill it out. We'll put in our name, which you'll have to do the same. And then we'll be actually filling this out for you and then having the VA go ahead and sign it. And then this is the 1120S that your CPA will also be given. So that right there gives you a real quick overview of those documents. This is the end of this training. We'll see you in the next video.